So, I think that oppositions in life and like opposites of things are seriously like the most important thing out there because they seriously are just so good, but no one thinks they are. We think that if we're feeling bad, that's bad, but as stupid, as weird as it sounds, like you being in a depressed mood is actually very beneficial. Like that is so good because people are always like, you can't have one without the other. You can have, if sadness didn't exist, you could have happiness, but there'd be no awareness to it. There would be no need for attention. So on an awareness level, you wouldn't be aware that you're experiencing happiness. You would just be experiencing it. You'd be like, this is what it is. You wouldn't need any attention because there'd be nothing opposing it. You wouldn't even think there's anything different. You just think that's how it is. I'm happy. This is happiness. But that's the beauty of oppositions, is that they create a need for it and they create an attention and an awareness in it. And we truly need to utilize the capability that oppositions have in creating such a higher sense of appreciation. Like, someone who lives their life, like, has a lot of good things, and, like, everyone obviously goes through little bits of struggles and hard times, but if someone never really truly faces adversity in their life, they'll be happy and they'll appreciate what they have. But if it's versus someone who has gone through, like, extreme misfortune in their life and then receives happiness, their happiness isn't going to be as great as the person who experienced a lot of misfortune, because that person experienced the opposing aspect of that situation, so they can appreciate the better situation even more. And I think we don't really understand that a lot, because we just think, oh, I'm depressed, this is bad, this is it. But realize that the depression that you are feeling right now, the sadness that is consuming you at this moment, temporarily this is bad. Yeah, it's bad, but think of it as a beneficial tool, because in the future when you achieve happiness, that happiness will be 10 times better from you experiencing this misfortune and this sadness. So, you're single right now, you've been single your whole life. That's going to make that relationship, when you finally get it, that's going to make it better. If you're constantly in relationships, no relationship's going to be that appealing, because you've already experienced all of it. You've never really been single a while, all that shit. Happiness won't be as good as if you've never been in a low place in your life, if you've never been in that area of just like utter hopelessness and shit. But that area is seriously, like, that's what completes you later on. That's what makes you, like, have an epiphany. You're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, you need to embrace that. Obviously, like, it's hard to enjoy it, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying when you're depressed to just, like, not be depressed, because that wouldn't even make sense. But I'm saying to realize that this mood that you were temporarily in will actually be very beneficial in the future and in the long run. And that oppositions are just they're just something that creates an awareness for the thing it's opposing. You can, like I said before, you can have something without the other. There would just be no knowledge, there'd be no awareness on a conscious level of that. We wouldn't think it exists because we wouldn't know any different. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is that for every, like, we couldn't appreciate one without the other. We could feel one without the other, but we wouldn't appreciate it. And that's what's beautiful about it. So everything you feel, like, you feel angry, you feel sad, you feel hopelessness, you feel like you have no energy. It just makes every bad thing, the opposite of every bad thing, just 10 times better when you experience it. And so that's what I'm getting at, is that we shouldn't, like, view every bad situation as bad, because yes, it is bad, but it's kind of like a paradox in a way, because it contradicts itself, because it's also beneficial. And we also need to know that things can change. You have control. When we get depressed, or when we get in a mood where we're like, oh shit, I'm helplessness, or I don't have any hope for anything better, you can change. You can always change. It'll be harder than others sometimes. In certain situations, you'll actually have to very analyze what situation you're in, how you got there, how you can get out, different things like that. But change is always possible. You can, because perspective is everything. Perspective is what controls your life. It's what shapes your life. That's why two people with the same situation can have two completely different outlooks. It's because they perceive it differently. So if you can change your perception of something, that means you can always change, not the situation itself, but how the situation will suit you, how it will treat your needs. If you view it as if you view it as something that is just completely bad, like, oh, there's no way, this is it, this is the worst it can get, then yeah, that situation will be bad. But if you realize that this bad is good, then yeah, it might still be bad, but you'll slowly slip out of that, and then you'll reach happiness, and then that happiness will be so much better because it's way more fulfilling because you experience the opposition to it. So just pretty much embrace any moment, because knowing that moment, when you reach the opposite emotion of that moment's creating, it will be so much better, and it'll be way more enjoyable, and it gets better understandings in life. You can just understand things way more. You know, wow, I'm truly grateful for even this. Because someone who has everything, if you notice, like, a lot of, like, people who have a lot in life are so, like, they complain all the time, like, the little things piss them off so much, and so many people who don't have anything can't fathom that. But it's not because the people who have a lot are stupid, it's because they've never experienced the opposition to that, which is having nothing. That's why if someone who came from nothing goes into something, that person is more likely to be so much more appreciative of everything they have, because they experienced the opposite of that. They experienced not having anything. So when they get something, it's much more fulfilling, and it creates way higher sense of appreciation and happiness. So just embrace every moment, because every moment of just every moment of happiness and of sadness, any negative thing, appreciate it, because that negative thing makes positive things even more positive. So just keep that in mind, and it'll be better, just a different way of looking at it, and have a great day.